My son's best friend, he can burp incredibly well, and I want to do an ASMR just for that.
Burping?
Yeah, just really loud.
Oh my God.
It's not going to be for everybody, but I'll have the market to myself.
You're right. You know what? You just gave me so much hope. There's an ASMR for everyone. There's something for everyone.
Yes!
You're right.
8 billion stranded castaways? Come on. Planet Prison? A paradise, an earthly paradise.
You don't sound suicidal at all. You're doing great. You're doing really great.
Okay.
5 minutes or 5 seconds?
5 minutes.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, wow, we're gonna...
Atop ancient sand dunes that harbor life found nowhere else. Amidst dwindling orange groves and between the pressures of the coasts, where crickets still sing and the hills are full of billies. You are Livin' on the Ridge, a variety show that celebrates the heritage of the heartlands of Central Florida, with news, events, sports, food, arts, and history. We serve up the good, the bad, and the weird. Living on the Ridge, putting the culture in agriculture.
Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, putting the culture in agriculture.
Yeah.
The shaman and the shepherd on the ridge.
And somebody has been doctoring on my microphone. And my reception is...
What, you got fried chicken?
Loud,
you got
man.
fried chicken? Is that too loud?
Yeah.
I'll bring you down. Don't worry, I will bring you down.
To all the audience and our fan base, this is not me. It's something that's created on the other side.
What other side?
The shaman side.
Other side of the dune?
Yes.
What, you're talking West Coast?
No. And Harry has something to do with it.
Well, it's something about the studio. It conjures something in people. You know, it's live. It's not AI. It's programmed. You can't go, oh, take two. Let's head back again. No, you just march forward.
Yeah. So I apologize for any mistakes in advance, even with my diction.
Why are you starting with that now?
I'm just saying, I'm just
after
ordinary
25 shows. Now you apologize.
I apologize.
And that's the first thing you apologize for.
Yeah, I'm not.
I have a whole list of grievances here.
I'm telling you, man. I'm sorry. I apologize. Anybody that's listening, I know someone out there. He doesn't know how to talk. He don't know how to say a full sentence.
He sounds like that.
I'm just saying that.
Do you know Mickey Mouse or something? He doesn't know anything.
You know there's someone that's like that.
Oh gosh, Mickey.
Yeah. she don't know what she's getting today.
She had an idea. She's met us, right?
She haven't met this side of us.
Let's bring her right out. Dana Riddell, thank you so much for joining us.
Good evening. I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, Happy New Year. I don't think I have seen her. So have you crossed paths this year? Maybe
in
Walmart.
2026, I don't think so.
Not Walmart and like aisle number 5 and that.
Well, I moved down to Sebring, so I'm in Sebring Walmart these days.
Oh,
traitor.
I know, it's unfortunate, trust me.
Can you believe AP apparently has the nicer Walmart? I don't know.
Well, I would certainly consider it nicer considering they have the tire changing area.
That's right.
It was probably before your time, Sean. Like, I would say like 5 or 7 years ago, they did a renovation. I use quotation marks, a renovation to the Sebring Walmart, where they tore up all the floors, and now it's like dingy concrete floors that just look terrible. And then they said it was like a good thing.
It's for the people.
It's for the people. I don't know if it might have been for the employees or something, that they were tired of cleaning those floors. They just wanted concrete. I don't know. But it got way rougher looking, and Avon Park will always be nicer because somehow it's less busy, even though it's better.
Huh.
I would agree.
Well, there's probably extra things they have to mop up in Sebring.
Yeah, a lot of wear and tear on those floors.
Lots of biological matter.
I would imagine.
All kinds. Use your imagination, folks. You truckers know what I'm talking about.
I'm a mom to an 8-year-old and a 3-year-old, so I
know about biohazards.
yeah. Biohazards and bodily fluids everywhere I turn.
That's a country song.
Uh-oh. Universal precaution.
Caution, slippery when wet.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Wait. Pause.
That's what the sign says, the mop sign.
Yeah,
What do you think I was?
Okay.
You think I was doing Bon Jovi?
There's other kinds of
I don't know what you was
biohazards.
doing.
That was Bon Jovi. That was his best album, Slippery When Wet.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
That's where he got Dead or Alive.
Oh.
Dead or Alive.
Yeah.
I had the
Dead or alive.
cassette version of that.
Okay.
Okay, you're not aging yourself.
Oh gosh.
Well,
No,
you are a vintage collector.
it doesn't.
You could have anything from.
That's
anywhere.
right. We watched 8mm movies.
That's right. That's right. Nothing surprises me.
In the 20s or something like that. Everything was butt naked on those 8mm films.
Yeah, the other day my son asked me, Mom, what's the oldest movie ever created? And I was like, I don't know, but it was probably in black and white because back in the day, all those things were black and white. And he goes, oh, did you like that? As if I was around during black and white movies. I was like, this is really one of those moments where kids just have no concept of, you know, your age relative to pop culture, and it's true.
Sean, can you recall?
Yeah, tell us.
Yeah.
Tell us how
Well,
that
let
was
me
for
tell you, kiddos, back before 1936, everything was black and white, okay? We
There you
didn't have
go.
color.
That's right.
It was 1936. You know the exact
Yeah,
year?
there wasn't even stereo. No, in real life, there was no color
Yeah.
at all.
Oh, no, that's not true. Not true.
There was a movie about that.
Oh my.
There was.
Pause.
I just watched clips of black and white film recently. It was Schindler's List,
Oh my gosh.
but it was black and white. God, I saw that in movie theaters, and yeah, it was black and white back then. Young Frankenstein.
Black and white.
When I was a kid, I remember seeing that in the movie theater.
I've seen that in black and white.
Yes. So it's there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do have the earliest pictures of me are black and white. You know, there's color in there.
You're kidding.
No,
That's
no.
wild.
I was born during the invention of color television.
Wow.
Tell us that date, that year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the year Kennedy was assassinated too.
Dang. And the fact that I don't know that. What is that, 1966?
3.
1963?
She was
Okay,
close.
It wasn't too far.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so there is something interesting. I've been talking to some other photographers, and we had an event yesterday, which we'll get to, about preservation of photos and history, and the black and white photos of my grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent condition. My childhood photos in color, fading already. Well, it was the processing. Those were, now when my grandfather took pictures, it was, I bet he was in 50 photographs his whole life, if you can picture that.
Barely.
And it was when you took photographs. Have you used film, Dana, at all? You remember
Used
film?
it, seen it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you had to curate your photos, and you wouldn't know what it was until, boy, sometimes it was months, you know, because your parents were so stingy with the photos. And I think there's a concern, at least among some historians, that what are they going to use 100 years from now to tell the story? What is Ken Burns going to use? There's not going to be any Civil War letters or silver gelatin prints or these linotypes, these pictures that are durable. And we have digital, and it's supposed to be forever, but, you know, you remember old formats of the digital. You remember when USB drives were, 100 megabytes or something like that. And now, you can get terabytes into a device that fits in your hand. Terabytes.
Wow.
Well, okay, so when you say film, I'm thinking of movie film. So, yes, I have used disposable cameras and things like that.
Yeah, me
But
too.
what really amazes me, and my mind just stays in the gutter, right? But, like, people used to take dirty pictures.
When did this happen?
I've never heard of this.
Wow. What do we have behind door number 3? Harry?
But But I just don't like understand how people had the audacity to be like, all right, you know, I'll take a dirty pic. Like nowadays, you can send it very privately with the hopes that you don't get
Sure
hacked,
you
right?
can.
Right. But back then, they literally had to hand the film over to a clerk who would then have to view the images and pack them up. Like, that was like an 18 plus job. Like, you should not have been allowed to do that job if you were under the age of 18 because of the things you might have witnessed. Like, that's just so wild to me that everyone was okay with it. Like, yeah, you know, it's between me, you, and the lady at the camera store. Like, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It usually wasn't. It was a nerdy guy.
Yeah.
Probably creepy. In fact, that was the premise for Red Dragon, which was the precursor to Hannibal.
Wow.
Silence of the Lambs.
Silence of the
It was actually a
Silence
pretty good
of
book.
Lambs.
Yeah.
And that's how we get there.
Yeah. So he I think I spoiled it for anybody, but it has a photo mat as the key element to the killer. So
Really?
that's how they found him. So yeah, but they would run off extra photos, and yeah, sure, there's nothing to stop them. It was everything done by hand, no auditing, and they had booths. You go to a mall, and there would be a 10 by 10 room, you know, smaller than a Twisty Treat ice cream cone.
Really?
I live in an ice cream cone. And you would drop off your photo, and when 1 hour photo came, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
you thought the future was here. You only had to wait an hour to get your photos to see that they look like crap. So, and now, so we used to, photos were curated, and then we would consume them like popcorn, and now I consider it plankton. We just hoover up millions of images. How many are printed? You're a mom, you're probably printing some photos now.
Every day of my life, I regret that I don't print enough. Actually, that's really the thing. And I know I have such regret over it because I know how good it is for your children's development to see pictures of themselves. So I actually really rely a lot on my kids' school that when they send home a printed picture of them, it goes immediately on the fridge or somewhere that they will continue to see and visualize themselves because it's good for their development. But I don't exceed well in that area. I should do better.
Wow, you got a degree in psychology or sociology or something?
I was like a preschool teacher for one whole
Oh,
year.
there it is. Man, I sense the educator in hers.
Yeah.
Just once every, well, I took a film class. My kids were young, and I took a film class, and we had assignments, and we had a black and white lab. It's beautiful. I worked at a newspaper, and my daughter even had the privilege of working in a black and white studio at high school. They since shut that down, but I just to this day I lament the fact I took my assignment pictures, textures, you know, landscapes and so forth, and not of my kids, because here is, and I do have a few that I enjoy, but it's just like, it's just like, get away, kids, you know. Daddy's on assignment. But you could buy the film camera. You can also, I want to talk to some of our partners about this, about offering black and white photos.
I would.
So you do family, you do family settings where you have a professional setup, and it would help if you had black and white film, but it's not critical. And then you just have it printed. There's services all over the state where you can have a real silver gelatin print, and that's the enduring format. That if you get a Civil War print that is on platinum, that stuff supposedly can last 1,000 years without degrading.
Wow.
Now it hasn't been around nearly that long, but the chemical process, you know.
I think this is just me thinking, you know, when we get ready to transition to the next place, I think the whole atmosphere should be black and white. Paintings, portraits. When people walk through, they just see black and white. When they're sitting down, they see black and white. Maybe with a couple of platinum albums up there, you know.
Albums.
Yeah.
Albums.
Yeah.
They are coming back. Those are coming back too.
Yeah.
Actual physical
Don't you like to
albums.
see- don't you want to see some vinyl?
Yeah.
That has outpaced CDs for many years. CDs are almost gone.
Really?
Oh yes. People like the physical format. The Gen X, Zs, whatever, in their 20s now. They like that. I got my son. He's going to be 25 in May, and I got him a boombox with a CD player and a cassette player.
What?
And
where you get that from? You went to
A thrift store.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say. Like,
Okay, yeah.
And it
you gotta
works
find-
amazing. The cassettes, they really don't hold up. They're okay. It's an okay format. But he gets to listen to an album, a whole stinking album with no algorithms, no commercials,
On a CD.
interruptions.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you used to. Like, you know, you don't skip forward. There's no auditing of it.
Because it
It's-
just spins when it's when you push play. It goes.
Yeah.
no, his wobbles.
Ah.
Well, hey, Daddy can't control that. You know.
But I saved my CDs. I gave him a suitcase of his mom's old cassettes, Poi Dog Pondering and Depeche Mode and all these groups you've never heard of probably. Reach the Beat or The Fix. Just really 80s stuff.
Oh, you
Duran
told me.
Duran.
Oh, okay.
You heard of Duran Duran.
Of course. They were one of the best in the 80s.
That's the consummate 80s
Yeah.
band.
Duran Duran.
And by the way, Harry, don't ever play Culture Club on this station again.
Wait, you want to make a
I don't like-
culture
I-
personality?
No,
Oh, no,
that's
who was that?
Living Color.
Oh, yeah. There was one of them colors.
No, Boy George. Come on.
Yeah.
He can do the dress. That I don't care. I just didn't like. I don't like the music. It's terrible. Ugh.
You didn't like
Folks,
Boy George?
some of these hits that they keep bringing up really blew chunks back then. All right.
Really?
But you don't know Boy George. You know who Boy George is?
I don't know any of it. That's okay.
Oh man. Well,
Just pull it towards you. Just pull it towards you. We want you to be comfy there. Folks, you're listening to Living on the Ridge with the Shaman and the Shepherd. We're talking to Dana Ridell, and
yes, the one and only.
she is with the Stonehenge Development Group.
DR.
Stonehenge.
Dr. Dana.
That's very English.
Stonehenge. I'm half Puerto Rican, half
What?
Uh-oh.
English.
What?
I know. It
Do we
was
want to talk about the
something.
Super Bowl show? We'll save that.
But Stonehenge comes from the name of my father's construction company, my English side.
Oh.
And I've probably asked him a million times, why did you choose Stonehenge? And he always just said, I wanted something that sounded old. So there's really no rhyme or reason to it other than now it's the name of my company because I am the daughter of a general contractor. And, you know, it took me a long time to figure out that that really is in my blood. Like that land development. Now, contractors don't love zoning, and I regulate zoning every day as the town planner of the town of Lake Placid, and in the last 10 years as a government employee. So that's probably a little contradictory to my blood lineage, because for developers and contractors, zoning really seems to be the thing that gets in the way of them doing just whatever the heck they want to do.
Well, but that's not good for a community. And
Exactly.
you wear all these different hats that you
Right.
build, but you also want to develop the community,
Yes.
benefit the area. You're invested in this area. Your children are growing up, and you've also seen the hazards from some other areas. And we're going to get into that. I can't wait.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
So you learned to swing a hammer at a very young age?
You got down and dirty?
You know, I could swing the hammer if I could aim it. That's a different story. I
gosh.
might have hit a few things that I wasn't supposed to. Yeah. I'll never forget my dad being like, here's a box cutter, open up the water and give me a water. I'm like, sure, no problem. And I go give him the water and he just like squeezes it with his hand and it shoots everywhere because I cut every single water as I open the case of water. So that's the kind of construction work you can expect out of me.
But you didn't hurt yourself.
hey, you know, we should count our blessings.
That's
You're right. No blood drawn.
That's right.
No, but I remember I'll say, I talk about this all the time, that it's just such a precious memory for me growing up, that my dad would take me into his office and he'd be like, look, these are blueprints. And these were are when blueprints were actually blue, and they were spread out along his desk. And I love the smell of office supplies. I love the smell of blueprints. I'd be like, wow, that's amazing. He'd be like, this is the scale. This is the living room. This is the bedroom. It's designed this way for this reason. I'd be like, wow, that's so cool. And like, I could visualize it. I didn't realize not everybody really can visualize it. But then he'd take me out to the work site, and every time it was a residential construction, I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna live here one day. And he would always laugh. He would think that that was really funny, just because I was really appreciative of the whole construction process. And again, you know, a lot of people can walk into a new build and not really realize how it's going to look. They might feel hopeless. They might feel like, oh my God, this is taking forever. How is this possibly going to turn out? How is this going to work? But for me, it's like every time I walk onto a construction site, I see hope. I see the idea of prosperity and thriving, and what a future could look like for whatever family that lives there.
So it's not just a big dollar sign for you.
Oh, certainly not. No.
Maybe that's your problem.
Oh, no.
Well,
that's how it's done, sister.
It is. It's actually a huge problem for me. I have a business partner. His name is Jeff. He doesn't really like being in the public. That's why we're partners, because I do the public thing. He does a lot of the technical work behind the scenes, like site design, traffic analysis, things like that. And where was I going with this, y'all?
How to make money.
Oh, yeah.
See, there you go again. Oh my gosh,
Rabbit. And
we need to
social worker.
get some. Get
Just
some.
like us, man.
the liquid IV, she's
Starving
not
artists.
cutting it. Yeah, should have taken an
Oh,
hour
gee,
all
I
day.
forgot I was talking about money here.
Yeah, how we gonna make that money?
The last thing on my mind. Yeah, so he is so development friendly. He's like, you know, this is how we make a return on investment. And we'll find ourselves in rooms with people, and I'll be like, oh, you know, we should add street lights and sidewalks, and we should make this lake access public accessible, and we should add these design elements, and I'll add all of these things that just make for a good neighborhood but aren't profitable. Like, how does it profit a developer to add sidewalk or to add street lamps and then to have to add an HOA?
I'll tell you.
Yeah.
You
Tell
charge
me.
more. Because what do they advertise?
Amenities.
They advertise how natural everything is in there, despite their best efforts. And if they're next to a preserve,
Oh, yeah.
they're going to charge extra. See this? We would have totally done this to this, but you get to live next to this because we couldn't do that.
Yeah, so that can be like an incentive for people to buy, right? But developers are going to make more money if they could build more houses. They don't care about the preserve, because if they could build one more house there, they're going to make that additional $200,000, and they're going to walk away from the project, and they don't really care if someone has a preserve next to their home. They feel confident that their subdivision is going to be bought up one way or the other. So it's right. I know. I see it. I see it happen every day. And that's where I get to come in, and I get to, even though I'm not the developer in these cases, right? I'm their consultant. I'm their strategist. I'm the one who helps them determine how we can achieve the zoning that we need in order for them to be able to construct their project. Because if there's no ROI, they're not building it. Like, no one's going to build a subdivision because it's a good asset to our community if they can't get money from it, right?
There's no... That's just not in the equation for developers.
No.
At all.
No. I mean, it would have to be a developer. You would think like D.R. Horton or someone who's a developer who makes so much money would, like, I don't know, throw a bone every once in a while and just, you know, develop something beautiful for their reputation. Reputation matters too, right?
I think so.
Yeah, and there's only so much density you can have before the people are miserable. And you have flooding, you have no set-asides, the quality of life. You know, that $35,000 portico or something, they will complain about impact fees, but oh no, they'll spend tens of thousands on architectural features, make every roof a tile roof in the neighborhood, and a lot of them are cookie cutter developments, and they're almost always going to be gated. Is that correct?
These days, not really, no. And I do want to say something about impact fees. That a lot of people, and impact fees are likely coming to Highlands County, and it's a matter of how much and when they're implemented and things like that. And it's really scary for people. But when developers, so not single family residential homes when they're trying to build one home, but I'm talking about developers, when they come and they sit at my table in my capacity as a public official, their question is never, are there impact fees? Their question is always, how much are the impact fees? They are always prepared to pay those impact fees. Yes,
Wow.
they're never saying, how do we get out of it? I mean, there might be incentives through the state and things like that that help them get out of that. And there might be incentives built into some kind of impact fee program that the county puts out. But it's never been a question of if we have them. That's an incentive that Highlands County implemented years ago when we put a moratorium on impact fees. It's really just a matter of how much. And maybe how much is what makes them walk away from a project. I don't know. I've never gotten to that point. I've been in Highlands
Let's
County
find
this whole
out.
time.
Yeah, let's do some research.
Yeah, what's their pain threshold there?
Yeah, literally. That's
50, 60, 70,000.
Yeah.
So I come from Lee County, the poster child for bad development. We're putting 10,000 units on a 2-lane road right in the middle of Panther habitat. It's Corkscrew Road. Yeah. Huge outcry. No infrastructure. It's 78. There was a horrific accident, fatalities on New Year's Eve, right there on 78. It's on the way to Immokalee, and now it's the hinterlands, but it's not. I mean, Corkscrew was just desolate 20 years ago. And they removed impact fees for a time, and the Lee Building Industry Association they were adamant about it. They would fight the one county commissioner, Ray Judah, who had some semblance of decency. Everybody else was rolling over, and now there's no Ray Judah on the Board of Commissioners there. And they would viciously fight, but it sounds like, at least here in this area, they're accommodating, they've accepted. And to me, when a county has an impact fee, that's a sign of maturity and progress and professionalism. Is that correct?
I mean, it makes me concerned when you enter communities that don't have impact fees, just like Highlands County, yes, because you could build it, but how will we sustain it? Yeah, so how are we mature? How are we planning for the future? And I think there's been a lot of poor choices made politically. I mean, yes, right? That kind of goes without saying, probably in any community, but the moment we stopped requiring impact fees was the moment we said, all right, we could plan for right now, but we can't plan for the future. And that's how growth becomes not smart.
So the way that they would attack the impact fees is they would say all the time, we're just making up for all the poor decisions you made when these houses were built in the 20s and the 40s and the 50s.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you something. In the 20s, there's 3-4 million people in the state, okay?
Yeah.
Barely.
Yeah.
And in the 50s, there was fishing everywhere. There was abundant wildlife. There was bucolic spaces. There were, we talked about this last week, there's spaces that weren't necessarily designated. You could hike, you could camp, you could hunt, 4-wheel, all those things on land that was probably private, but there wasn't these barriers. Like every square inch has been allocated. And my response is that there wasn't a need for those things to be in place, but because guess what, you have more people, you have to have more rules. You want less rules, go to Montana. All right, it's these wide open spaces. But you want to be around a Walmart and transportation and a good restaurant. You know, you're part of a community now, and these impact fees, they are making up for some poor mistakes, but decisions. So why would we keep making these bad decisions?
Yeah, I mean, some of the standards have changed, right? And it's not a problem till it is, right? So that's part of it.
Avon Park doesn't have any problems.
We got no problem with that. Stagnation.
Yeah. The Growth Management Act in the state of Florida didn't really hit till 1986. That's when we implemented zoning. And then in the 1990s is when there were alterations to the Growth Management Act that required us to implement the future land use. So a lot of people don't realize every piece of property has two designations. A lot of people just think about zoning, but there's something called future land use too. And when, are you guys ready for a history lesson?
Absolutely.
Okay.
This is going to be this is an amazing show already. We are going to get,
Yeah.
how much do you charge, by the way? How much?
Buckle up, because y'all about to get taken to school right now. Yeah, $125 an hour for the record, but
We
yeah,
can't afford that. Thanks for coming.
I'll see my way out.
Just put in future earnings.
Would you like some radio spots in exchange?
Yeah, we can exchange.
Come in anytime you get ready. Just slide on in.
I have a lot to run my mouth about, but for the Growth Management Act that happened in the 1980s was when the state essentially came in and they said, holy cow, we have urban sprawl. We have things happening in the middle of nowhere and no way to serve them. So emergency services aren't able to reach these areas. We have no water, no wastewater. The septic is affecting our environment, although they cared a little bit less about that then, and they care about it more now.
Is the AC on?
And so they applied zoning. So zoning are the rules. So if I tell you to clean your room, that could mean 5 different things. That could mean wipe your windows with Windex and make your bed and hang up your clothes. That could be how I clean my room. But someone else could have totally different standards for cleaning their room, like clean off the dust on the fan, wipe down all your walls,
Vacuum.
Vacuum, mop the floor, every single thing, So zoning is the rule. Zoning is how we get to somewhere. So they started applying zoning. That's residential zoning. Let's say R1. That means you're allowed to have a residential lot, but it has to have a minimum of 10,000 square feet, a minimum living space of 750 square feet with a minimum road frontage of 80 square feet. These are the rules.
Wow.
Okay, so we implement that, we applied that. But then the government said that really didn't address our urban sprawl issue. We just assigned rules on how certain lands could be developed, but we aren't really doing anything to mitigate the urban sprawl issue with commercial out in the middle of nowhere and entire neighborhoods being developed out in the middle of nowhere. So that's when they came through and implemented something called the comprehensive plan. That's our 30-year planning framework that we use at the local level.
Every county
Yes,
Okay.
every county has
Wow.
future land use.
in practice, or is that a good idea?
Man,
It is, but so future land use is really important. Comprehensive plan is really important, but you always have a politician trying to override one thing or another, right? And if it's not a politician, it's a developer, it's someone else trying to find a loophole. There have been times your development services director really matters. They really matter, because you can have a development services director that tells you always try to find a way to yes. Or you could have a development services director that says no means no means no means no. And it says no, so we're not doing no, there are no loopholes, or we're not doing it, there are no loopholes, that's it. And Highlands County has seen both in the last 10 years. So the future land use can be inconsistent with the zoning. When the state came back in and they said, oh wow, this area is zoned residential, because the property owner at that time had a house here and they felt like they would continue to use it for residential from now till the end of time. Well, we actually don't think that's the right fit for the area, because this is out in the middle of nowhere. So we're going to apply an agricultural future land use, which means, and now it gets really deep because certain neighborhoods got vested. If they were established by a certain time, you could apply to the state and say, hey, even though I know you want us to apply a different future land use that is not consistent with our zoning, we want to have our rights vested. And the state came back and said, yep, just fill out this paperwork in time and we will vest you. Nowadays, if you have a property that has an inconsistent zoning and future land use, you cannot develop it until they become consistent. Meaning, you must go through the public hearing process and either change the future land use or change the zoning. That process about 15 years ago was very onerous and could only happen 2 times a year and was heavily regulated by the state. But again, politicians through the state of Florida have continued to repeal regulations that would have the state have control or oversight. So the state essentially lost all control. The Regional Planning Council lost all control. And now everything is done at the local level with certain documentation being sent to the state every so often. And again, that's who is in office, and usually it's a Republican governor who supports the repeal of these very regulatory.
Well, Rick Scott
processes.
wanted to develop golf courses. He's wanted to close down the golf courses that were, and I read this in a state magazine too, so he wanted to, what state parks are not making money, let's make golf courses. And of course, a couple years ago, this thing came out of the blue, nobody knows where that came from, and then the governor's like, yeah, right, gee, that is weird. That's weird. How did that get it must have been an unnamed staffer. Those midnight tweets too. Yeah, some
Midnight tweets.
unnamed staff. I would love to be an unnamed staffer with that kind of power.
The power,
Oh
yeah.
my God.
Yeah, that'll be me one day, I hope.
So, these developments are in, as you said, even at the local level, they'll change the comp plan to something that's more advantageous to the spikes in growth. Buckingham has been through it. The Bonita Bay. I don't know if you're familiar with Bonita Bay.
No.
They were highly regarded for their set-asides. Beautiful landscaping, large lots, tons of preserves. Probably they twisted their arm to get much of that, but guess what? They turned it into an amenity. That's not a retention pond, that's a lakeside view. See what you did there? And so they made that, like they did it on purpose, and they sold that dog food, and it was delicious. And so they did something else, Veranda, that's East Fort Myers, used to be very rural, right on the Orange River. Canoed that myself several times. And now it's congested. There's a Publix every other mile, and they're continuing to push east. There's some developments in East Collier County you never thought you would see east of 75, Ave Maria, out there, and then there's another 4,500 unit development. And I just heard that Fort Meade is going to get some 7,000 units or so. No, Hardy County is. I'm sorry.
Because I heard Fort Meade is getting a data center.
4 million square foot data center, and the mayor is all gung-ho about Sawgrass Mills is not even 4 million square feet. And that place is colossal.
Yeah, it's wild. It's wild how the range of development, like, I don't know, there's a case to be made on both sides, right? So especially when you talk about traffic, because we're talking about traffic in Highlands County. I've seen people have absolute meltdowns and say, we can't allow this zoning change to come through because sometimes I have to wait at the stoplight 2 times before I can go.
I know, their complaints about traffic are adorable.
Like,
Go to I-95 once, all right? It's Mad Max.
Right. So we have very little to complain about in that way. When I moved here, I'm from Philadelphia originally.
What?
Yeah, some people are like, there was traffic. I'm like, what do you mean? That means you didn't leave the house on time. There was no traffic. Like, that's impossible. Although I'm chronically late, so I don't have much to say in the way of punctuality.
You can't blame it on the traffic.
No, I cannot. I can never. You'll never hear me say it was traffic.
Really?
Unless it was one of those accidents that stops 27, but because we don't have a lot of those in Philly. If there's an accident, they get moved out of the way and you move on with your life real quick.
Well,
But
they boot Santa Claus, so.
when did we do that?
Oh, at the hockey rink or something.
Probably. Okay, if it was sports related, yeah.
You
we
guys
probably
riot
did.
when you win.
That's rough, man.
Everyone wishes they were there for a Philly riot. Come on.
Jeez.
Come on. Yeah. Who can forget the
See
Phillies?
brotherly
parade?
love up there,
Speaking of
right?
riots, there was a pickleball riot this weekend in Florida. I have news about that.
You're kidding.
I
No.
heard about that too.
Three people were arrested.
Over how the game went?
Yes. Yes!
That's hilarious.
It made the New York Times.
Pickleball's a very dirty word for me right now.
Oh, it
It's a
is?
very dirty word. Have you heard about what's going on in Lake Placid?
Is it the
No.
noise?
Give us the intel.
That's one of the concerns, but pickleball has been one of the most contentious issues to plague the city of Lake Placid over the last 16 months. Yes.
What?
That's our headline.
Yeah.
All right, sing it, sister.
Well, essentially it comes down to there's been a lot of change in council, and
No.
the previous council approved the construction and grant financing for a pickleball court, and then it became very much under fire and under question as to the exact location of where it'll go, because it's going in Lake June Park where there's ball fields, and there's been questions as to whether or not the sound will reverberate off the lake and into all the $1 million homes, and concerns about where it's placed in Lake June Park because it's going to take up green space, because that's where all the kids play and picnic and fly kites, so that also would not be acceptable. There's been questions over if we have financed the pickleball courts correctly, because we got 2 grants, one through FERDAP, one through RPAC. RPAC from this point forward, or shortly after this project was approved, changed their financing to only allow, I think, $75,000 grant allowances per project. Right before this, we asked for $200,000. We
Okay.
got $200,000.
That's more like it.
Are they clawing that back?
Yeah, 75 won't
No,
do.
but there's some concern from the public that maybe it should go back, because part of the financing for the pickleball courts was that we would be paving some parking areas, and I say we, but I'm a contractor now, right? So but that they would be paving some parking areas, and now it's going to be a stabilized grass area. It's still adding more parking. I don't know how the grant documents were written, if they specified that they must be paved, if how it would go, and I don't need to know the grant for my job, right? Like, I can't delve into every issue and try to figure out everything that's going on. That would be a town administrator
Well,
thing.
why not?
It's just,
You charging all that money.
For planning services. But the town administrator is doing a really good job, and she's really done a lot of work to try to uncover what happened before her, because in the time that I have worked as town planner, I have gone through 4 different administrators, and 4 of them occurred in under 12 months.
I was about to ask, in what time frame? So,
She's got the Avon Park itis.
well, yes, they got the record, I think.
We've had 3 county managers in 3 years here.
3. That's a walk in the park compared to what Lake Placid has been through.
2 years.
That's serious?
2 years.
Man. What's
I mean-
the lifespan of a city manager?
4 to 5 years.
4 to 5 years.
So when you say you get some concern from the public,
Mm.
in a rural community, does that mean 5 people, 200 people? Can you really have somebody pound the table that hard
Yes.
and scuttle a project?
Yes, there's been multiple meetings where it has been standing room only. And imagine, the town of Lake Placid was designed as a church originally, and they've moved into a church building. So it is an entire sanctuary, pews and all,
They get
full
saved
of
at the
people.
same time, huh?
They could if they wanted to.
Are you on your knees there or something?
Bow down to the Pope.
There's stained glass there still?
You know what? They must have skimped on the stained glass the
for
first
Pete's
time.
sake.
Yeah, they have some high ceilings.
I like that idea.
So you sit in a pew at
Yeah.
I'm gonna go just. Well, no wonder. It's like a show. They have popcorn.
Someone should bring it. You could actually maybe make some sales there if you sold a little popcorn.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've seen people bring popcorn. But yeah, it's because not only do the people come out in opposition, but there's a whole group of people that come out and support. Because there's nowhere in the Lake Placid area that has a pickleball court. So people have to travel from Lake Placid to Sebring or other areas in order to play pickleball.
Well, wait till they get a load of Avon Park. We've been waiting on this how long?
Your pickleball courts?
Yeah.
Since the late 50s.
No, I'm talking as a reason.
Oh, well, pickleball really didn't start taking off. Because of this whole thing, they had a diagram and how a lot of tennis courts that they counted 8,000 tennis courts have been converted to pickleball.
And is that the plan for Avon Park? It's a conversion, right?
Right.
But there's no lighting planned. That's part of the
They do have lighting. It has to be replaced at some great expense.
Okay.
Yeah, we gotta
Yeah.
move some things around, take some a little bit over here.
What's the latest? You're on.
Hey, nobody talked about it in a while.
No kidding.
So I'm telling you, we don't have, there's no detail yet. You know, everything has been focused on this brickle building issue.
Which, yeah. So that's unfortunate because you had, after myself, you had a really qualified person there whom we all really liked, Jessica Carlson, and she was doing a great job, but there was, I'll speak for her, I don't care. She didn't tell me, there was just too much.
Get it off your chest.
Too much sabotage, too much just overpowering scrutiny. Oh, I'm looking out for the city dollars, I'm making sure. Really? You are bleeding to death some project. There's folks up there on the dais who just congratulate themselves about how wonderful they are and business friendly and they're inviting and everything. But when the push comes to shove, you have a project come in there. No one says, "We're so glad you're here. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being a courageous on the vanguard of investment in this town, which has seen better days."
They're poking holes. What's wrong with this project?
Who's your investor? Why? How are you going to do all this? Why you need this density? Why did all this? And it's you don't do that to someone who is investing in the area if you call yourself business friendly. And I talked to another gentleman who's been with the city was with the city many years ago. Yeah, I have a lot of respect. And there's just people want it to stay the same. I go, what's the end game? Because that's it. They just want it to be a best kept secret, even if it to the detriment of the residents and crime and vagrancy and blight and all those things that affect pocketbooks and tax revenue and so forth, businesses that they still prefer that over to some unknown. And I get it. I understand. Again, I've seen what bad development is, and I get these mechanisms should be in place, but you have commercial properties. Unless you buy it and own it, you don't have a right to deny people opportunity like that. I thought this is America.
America, yep. Yep.
So how do we walk that tightrope here?
You
You're gonna get me in so much trouble
I
after
feel like
this.
I'm gonna get in trouble, because I have a lot that I
Don't
could say
come
about-
after Dana. She is just the messenger. She's telling it like it is.
That's it. I
She
have
is
to
on
do.
your side, folks.
People don't get that. Like, I am on everyone's side more than they could know, because I've come to love Highlands County a lot for the way that it is. I came here as a young woman, like 19, 20 years old, and I was culture shocked, originally from the Philadelphia area. I love to tell the story of like my grandfather. So like I said, I'm half Puerto Rican, half Irish down here. I moved in with my Puerto Rican grandparents. My grandfather is darker than Kelvin. He
Say what?
Oh yeah, like
What's up, my sister? What's up?
He, a lot of people knew him. He owned a Cuban sandwich shop across from Home Depot. His name was Julio. He did that for 20, 30, maybe 40 years, a very long time. And
He came from Miami area?
No.
Oh.
That's also a dirty word, like being from the South, right?
Hey, yo
like,
soy de Miami.
Oh, God, not South Florida.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, our
oh.
slogan for the town was "Welcome to Avon Park. What part of Miami are you from?"
It was, you know, when I worked at the Central Florida Regional Planning Council, who are the planners for City of Sebring and City of Avon Park, there were multiple times I had to tell developers, you know, I don't know if us as planners can support this project or this density. And they would say, in Miami, this is how everyone does it, and this is how they're successful, and da-da-da. And I would look at them straight in the eye and say, we don't want to do it like Miami. No one here, none of our comprehensive plans support doing it like Miami.
Nobody.
Wow.
You're not going to win.
And that means set-asides, conservation easements. We have all these. This property is just ripe for development, and you have Ben Hill Griffin saying, "We're done with citrus. What are we going to do? We're going to plant the last crop, housing."
Yeah.
Either housing or commercial, including some elements of commercial. I have a lot of agricultural customers who are looking to figure out what their next step is after the land is no longer producing.
Yeah.
But to go back to the story that I was telling, just essentially was I moved down here and I was like, you know, where's the clubs? Where are they at?
You wanted something?
Yes, I wanted some of that.
Hey, that's another idea. Okay, cool.
At that point, all I found was shooters. They're no longer here.
Really, shooters? That's the
So,
closest thing you
That was it. They were in Sebring. I was
I
in
know
Lake
where they were.
Placid. Yeah, okay.
Oh my God.
There were a lot of fights there. A lot of,
Yeah.
like, I didn't even like. There were shootings there.
That's
There
what it's called, shooters.
Well, now at Hooters,
If there was a Hooters, I would have been happy to go there too. But it's just like blew my mind because I go there. I tell my grandparents I'm going somewhere else. I live with them right off the bat, and the next day my grandma's like, "Yeah, I know you were at Shooters last night." I was like, "How do you know?" She said, "You're Julio's granddaughter." I'm like, "I know, he's like black. So why does anyone think I'm his granddaughter? I am white with freckles and blonde hair. Why would they know that we're related in any capacity?" And she's like, "This is Highlands County, baby. Everyone knows."
Wow.
I was like, oh.
and you haven't gotten away with a thing since.
No, and neither can my kids. So I'll keep raising my kids here because they're not going to get away with anything. And now I'm part of the problem. I see my friends' kids, places that I'm like, I wonder if they should be here. So I text them and I'm like, "Hey, I see your kid walking down Sebring Parkway. Hey, I see your kids alone at the fair. You know, are they supposed to be here?" Most of these kids are really good kids, so usually it's
Okay.
not a problem.
Yeah.
But sometimes the parents like,
We'll give
"Oh
them a
no."
pass.
Yeah.
We'll give them a pass this time.
Yeah. They're good. But yeah, I'm a snitch now. I'm definitely a snitch.
Well, nobody will.
You
Anybody
become
listening?
the-
Nobody's listening to this radio station, right?
You become the thing you hated.
I know, because I know how naughty I was back then, and someone needed to pull me in, and anyway, I found my way. But I think I was just telling that story to really just talk about the contrasts of things being up north and just how they are down here today and what it means. So like big box stores, the town of Lake Placid has policies that don't necessarily prohibit box stores, but make it nearly impossible for them to come into town limits.
Wow.
And I wonder all the time, like, how that would have affected Avon Park if Walmart couldn't have come here. Now, City of Avon Park was like, "Oh yeah, we get a lot of tax money off Walmart." Sure, you're gonna get a lot more tax money, but what happened to the downtown when that happened? How did the ma and pa shop survive after that? And I think that's something that the town of Lake Placid has been very cognizant about, and they've planned for.
And I think these things have to be protected. You know, you have to protect historic buildings, nature, animals, children, fools like me. We have to be protected, okay? And otherwise, you wouldn't get this, you know, scintillating radio show if we didn't have a protected class. So those things, I think, deserve, I mean, those beautiful buildings, they are, and they're not in great shape, but Disney would love to have an authentic looking downtown, like the Jacaranda and the Brickell building. They just don't make them like that anymore. They wouldn't, even though the building expenses are huge. Why don't they make them like that anymore, Dana?
I don't know. Did you know the first light bulb ever made by Thomas Edison still works? Goes back to what you were saying about cameras and photographs and how the quality of those cameras lasted. And I think in order to make quality things, it costs money. It costs money, and everyone's about that bottom dollar right now.
It's almost 6 o'clock. I swear I thought it was like 5:30.
Yeah, when you're having fun. Man, I was just sitting back and listening to y'all. The chemistry was, man, you can't create that anywhere else in the world.
I could talk about this stuff all day.
He can
You're
too.
welcome. Yeah, you're welcome. I enjoy that sort of thing because it does really matter to a community.
Yes, it does.
And we are community oriented on this station and our lives as well. And we think those things are important. And people do come up to us and say, we appreciate what you're doing, nice job in the garden. Unless, city workers come in there with a weed whacker and like, I can't have those. Yeah, it happened.
No.
Yeah.
It's not the first or the last.
Oh, no. One of my favorite botany YouTubers, he's constantly in Texas and fighting people. He got his permission, and then the neighbors hate the tree, and they poison it.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, there's a circle of hell waiting for you if you kill trees on purpose.
Yeah, man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So, folks, you're listening to Livin' on the Ridge with the Shaman and the Shepherd, Dana Ridell, with the Stonehenge Development Group in Lake Placid. She's also a local planner.
Yes, how can we reach her? How can they reach out to you?
How do we find out about you?
Call me, text me if you want to reach me. That's a Kim Possible quote that you probably, now we're in a different
What's
era
your
here,
website?
but www.stonehengeldc.com. I give out my personal cell phone number. It is my business line. It's 484-467-5551. That's right. It's a Philly number. I'll never change it. Got to keep a little token from home. Yes. My email is dana@stonehengeldc.com.
What's that number again?
484-467-5551. That's my radio voice right there.
Oh, yeah.
You do have a good voice. Who said that?
She's coming back.
Whoever did this to you, we're going to bring him on the show.
We're closing out all the auditions right now.
There'll be a reckoning.
Right. I think it's that a lot of people will be like, I could hear you from down the hall. And it's like, yeah, that was me laughing and kikiing and joking around.
It's called projection, folks. Okay.
And they should appreciate it, shouldn't they?
On my last review, I was called unprofessional, and borderline insubordinate, argumentative, and I'm like, you misspelled confident.
Yeah, people confuse it very easily. Yeah. Especially when you're a woman.
You are more than welcome to stay after the top of the hour. I think we need to wrap a few more things up. Okay, can we do that?
Okay, sure.
All right, you're good.
Let's
All
do
right,
it.
folks, you're gonna get more of Dana right now. Trapped another one. See, this is the magic realm here. People come in here, they'll be walking on air, and they leave. We're uplifting.
I'm walking on air.
They're gonna come for me and stay for me.
Folks, you've been listening to Livin' on the Ridge on 104.9 FM. The Shaman and the Shepherd. We'll be back right after this.